because he want to be with me. And because his kids, or the kid ain't finna get shit, like you said, the brother said, unless I be with him, right? So 2 things to consider. In your specific situation, if the man is in survival mode, right? His first priority is what, Classy?
Himself.
Right. Slave concept that a person is going to be able to provide and from a healthy space put first things outside of self while self is in fight or flight mode is fucking absurd. Scientifically, it doesn't make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense. But in our culture, we've made it make sense by repeating it over the generations. This old slave mentality that I'm going to be beat up, broken, legs half hanging off, can't barely feed myself or find a positive reason to want to wake up, right? I got all this going on, but I'm going to be great at parenting and doing a good job at being positive, and I'm going to call my baby mother, and I'm going to be there and smile in those children's face. The average human being is not fucking capable of doing that if their basic human needs aren't met, right? That's the first part of it. The second part is what can look like someone ain't taking care of some kids because they want to be with you is simply that dealing with you, the experience with you, how you talk to them, how you act, how you are with them is different when they're in a relationship with you than when they're not. So the idea is I may not at all, and this goes for some mothers and some fathers, want to be with you. But the behavior I get when I'm not with you is so unpleasant that yes, it looks like I'm chasing being with you, but really I'm just trying to get the treatment from you that I get in regards to considering my perspective or overlooking certain things that I got when we were together. Does that make sense to you, Classy?
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, but I mean...
But what? Tell me. Go.
I don't think that's my situation.
So tell me, because this is what I'm asking you. I asked you earlier, what do you think your biggest obstacle is? And we had the same conversation on a one-on-one call. You gave me the same exact verbiage that you just used. Your story hasn't switched up yet. But I put into perspective when we talked how you come off. It's very niggerish. It's very manly. It's very masculine. He got out and I told him, we don't need his money. We need your time. A person in survival mode. But when it is we. Because the idea of co-parenting is your child needs your time because as a mother, I need you involved with this child, right? So there is a we need you. And even right now, when you're trying to clear up that we don't need you, it's putting into context what I'm explaining about how you coming off. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it's bad. I want you to realize how you come off.
Yeah, I do. I'm very, I do.
Can anybody relate to what I'm explaining to her?
I get kind of frustrated.
I could. I can relate. I kind of feel like I feel like that with my son. Like I feel like it's the money. Like my son got everything he need. PlayStation 5s. Christmas. He doing stuff for birthdays. But again, he ain't come to a football game. My son played football for a whole season. Mm-hmm. Or when he go visit my son at the Lord Detention Center, he don't. It ain't no hate when we walk up. It's no love shown. It's just like straight into that. Just like, I can't even explain it because I don't know. I'm not a man, so I don't really understand it. That's why I feel like it's like we don't understand for real from the man, from him.
It's a human. But listen, let me tell you something. It ain't this part that you're talking about. It ain't a human thing. It's a man thing. A lot of y'all.
That's what I said. I said it's a man thing.
A lot, but no, Italy. Listen, it's not a man thing. It's a human thing. You can't. And I want you to really understand. You cannot expect these cuddles in amounts of love shown with something that I have not yet had my own abilities to bond with outside of your influence as the mother.
Yeah, and see, that's why I'm like, I understand where she's coming from, but I'm like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but I feel it. I get where she's coming from.
So, I'm sorry to cut you off. So, just like you just said, love, you want to get your own experience. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell him. Like,
Right.
like I know you just came home. I'm not being aggressive when I'm telling him, but I'm just really laying it out. I know you just came home. I'm not asking you to give us no money. I'm not asking you to shower him with anything. All I'm asking you to do is spend time with him and get to know him.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
Can I say something?
I'll let you, Frank, but 1 second, right? There is nothing unrealistic about what she's saying, but there are certain human things that she's not considering, right? The human things are being real with yourself. What do men get valued for in this day and age? No, I want Classy to answer.
Money.
Hold on, because y'all saying it. I want Classy to say it.
You said, what was the question again?
What do men, when you look about how the world operates right now, what do men get valued for?
For most women, it's what they got to offer.
Okay.
What they can bring to.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But that.
Right. So you saying the butt that on and trailing your voice off. What is the reality of the day and age that we live in? Regardless of what you verbally told your baby daddy, when you look about the world and just perceive yourself to be a man, what makes men feel valuable, have confidence and self-esteem per the standards of the world?
The tangible shit that they have.
Okay.
Shit that they can't die with.
Perfect.
Shit that ain't important.
Stuff that ain't important because you saying they important? That it ain't important?
That shit important.
What I'm trying to grow you up in this moment. Because if you I don't think you hear how you come off, right? You saying shit that ain't important. Every bit of how the world works says that this stuff is important. You give a fuck because Classy say it ain't important because you want this man to come and move with your son how you want him to move. The world say niggas gotta have money. The world say niggas gotta have a job. The world say when niggas walk in rooms and they can't bring shit to the table, they ain't shit. Don't give a fuck because one baby mama say that don't matter. The world say my nigga Frank better come in the room with something to provide with. Frank better come in the room with something to give. Frank better come. It ain't got to be no designer, but Frank better come in the motherfucking room as a man with a child with something to motherfucking give. So, to me as a man, getting out of prison, probably coming from a lifestyle where I'm not highly educated, right? One baby mama showing pity on me. Pity. Men don't want no fucking pity. They want respect, right? My baby, and I'm giving it to you from the male view. One baby mama showing pity on me and telling me, oh, you just got out, so we don't want anything from you tangible, nothing materialistic, no money. In your mind, it's saying, I'm working with you. To the male ego, it's saying, nigga, I know you ain't got shit, so we ain't even finna ask you for shit. Just bring your poor ass around your son and give up that time that you got. That's what it's saying. A lot of you as women and baby mamas, you don't know how to look at shit for what it really is. You live in a bubble, a world of delusion that only has to do with your perspective of the situation. The stuff I'm saying ain't hard to understand if you get out your fucking feelings.
I get it, but I get it, but I promise with everything in me, I don't mean it like that.
I didn't say it, Classy. I never said that that's what you meant. The stuff
I hope that's not the way he's looking at it.
Classy. I'm Classy.
Exactly.
I want y'all to hold on because I really, that's what I'm saying. That's why when you first started talking, I asked Frank to say why that man don't come around. Ain't no nigga that's used to busting you down dick-wise, right? Having a certain authority and respect in the room, coming in off of a jail or a prison bed to no fucking pity from you to come around no child that you got the most influence and authority over, that he don't fucking know what you done been saying about him, what you done talk. Don't mean you said anything wrong. Don't mean that this your fault that this going on. The world say, not Classy, not Love, not Italy, not Frank. The world says that men supposed to have something. The world says that men are supposed to come to the table with something. Anything other than what the world says looks like pity to a nigga.
Miss Classy, may I share with you? Because
I want, before anybody say anything else, I want to know that she understands the perspective that I'm offering.
Yeah, that's why I was going to share with her and explain to her
what he may be feeling.
Correct. That's Classy. That's all I'm trying to put into perspective. Never once was it about your intentions on what you communicated being wrong. As a woman, as a mother, what you're asking for is very reasonable. But here is where we go wrong as baby mamas. We sit in this bubble from only our perspective, and we think that because that's not what we meant, he shouldn't take it like that. Because we don't take what we're saying and reflect it against the real world, which you don't have control over.
Without saying that, Bob.
We don't have control over the real world. Do you understand, Classy?
I understand.
Okay, who else wanted to add something?
I did want to add something because I have two daughters. One is 5, and her dad did a 4.5-year bid, starting at the age of 2.5 until she was 7. And I have a 5-year-old whose father is currently doing a 15-year Fed bid. So I can just take it from the perspective. My oldest daughter's father has been out 3 years, and he is just now, within these last couple of months, I say 2-3 months, starting to feel himself as a man. I make 6 figures as a nurse practitioner. It's plenty of times I could have had foot the bill. Hey, baby, you don't have to pay no bills. Come on, let's go here as a family so we can spend time together and do this and do that. And he didn't feel comfortable as a man to go. Because as a man, I don't want you paying for everything when we go out there. Right. Y'all go ahead and I'm going to stay home. Had nothing to do with him bonding with his daughter or spending time. He had to find himself as a man to feel like he could take on even any more responsibility in parenting. Not that he didn't help. I could say before he got locked up, he was involved with his daughter. But we split when she was 9 months old. I had to send my 9-month-old baby. I lived in Tampa, 90 miles away, and allow her to go spend time with her father every single weekend. And it was hard to do that with an infant. But that's her dad, and he had a right to his child, and my daughter had a right to a father. So I don't know what y'all's relationship was before he went to prison, but he was involved in his daughter's life. So when he got locked up, we went to see him every week for the first 17 months when he was in the county jail. I kept my daughter around his family, so that might be why it was a little bit different. So when he came home, of course, he was with his daughter on a day-to-day basis. So we talk about this all the time. The relationship you have with your child's father a lot of times determines their relationship with the child.
But what determines the relationship? What determines the relationship? Your what? Your perspective.
Of course.
You have a more mature perspective in regards to the decisions, because I've talked to her one-on-one. She has a mature perspective in regards to her role and why the situation looks the way it looks, and it allows her to see the other person's perspective. A lot of us, we lack the maturity in regards to this. So we believe whatever it is that we want for the child that matches what we view as the correct way the other person should move is what it is. And that's what we talk about. That's what we say. That's what we tie our emotions to. That's our demeanor towards the situation, and anything we react to, the way that we respond, all is tied back to that.
Can I add something?
Yep.
So for a man, like, especially he got kids and shit, if he ain't got no money, when he come around any woman's or baby mama or wife, he want his actions to match what's in his head. He already know what he want to do. But if he feel if he can't do it, it's better to not come around and take that grief from you instead of come around, get that feeling of not doing, then the looks you give them, and then on top of that, what you saying, it makes them try to stay away even more. So when you come back, it's never knows.
So Frank, and Frank,
be what's providers.
Right, and let me keep it real with you, Frank. Half these women don't give a fuck about that. Everything you say, they don't give a fuck about. I'm giving it to you raw. Outside of the groups of women that interact with my platform, these females don't be giving a fuck about that. All they care about is what they told theyself the nigga should be doing. And regardless that he's a human, regardless that he has his own perspectives and his own viewpoints and his own, way that he wants to integrate back into the child's life or deal with his children, regardless of him being allowed to have any of that. A bitch be only caring about what she fucking cares about, how she perceives and views the situation, what she felt like was right or wrong about how to move. And this is why there's so much conflict when it comes to co-parenting. It's the inability to be a fucking human and look at life from a realistic perspective, rather than what you feel like rather than how you feel like it should be for your child. Because the mature statement is you are not in control of how another individual fathers or mothers. Say it again. So if anybody write anything down in regards to co-parenting, I am not in control of how another individual fathers or mothers. You are not in control of how another individual fathers or mothers. Now, with respect to beliefs, there are a lot of us that we were raised to believe that we are. There are a lot of us that we've sat in toxic family circles and watched enough bullshit on TV and reality TV that we think that we can. But grown folk understand I am not in control of my baby daddy fathering the way that I want him to father. Nor is he in control of me mothering the way that I want to mother. What I have to do is be grown enough to say what Sierra said, that the child is owed, is obligated to have a mother and a father. They are obligated to have access to both parents, regardless of how one fathers or how one mothers. Do y'all understand that what I said?
If you want to keep them pissed off too.
Do y'all understand what I said though? Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
Yes.
I have a question if I can.
What's your question?
Like when I spoke about my problem with the co-parenting, like our relationship, he both of us focused on our relationship and we're not able to co-parent. So like if we're broken up, he doesn't come around like that. So I'm just
treatment
trying to figure out like
treatment. Our ego tells us, oh, if I don't go with him, he don't come around. Treatment, behavior towards the person. So what if we're gonna have a mature conversation, like I was explaining in a possibility to the person that was speaking earlier, if I'm real, it's not that he has to be with me in order to be there for his children. My treatment of him, my attitude towards him, my demeanor, my energy, my behavior, my femininity, all of that stuff switches when we're not together. So what he's really after is better quality treatment outside of being together. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
I do understand that. I guess I don't know how to fix that.
Okay, so first things first, you and him are immature. When the order of business, and I want y'all to understand this, you can write it down. When the order of business is to raise a child, meaning I am not in a relationship with you, the order of our business, the point of us interacting is to parent a child, to raise these children, right? When that is the main reason why we interact with each other, when that is what we know each other for, right? That needs to be put first. So the fact that you or him give a fuck about anything from a relationship that y'all had, you're immature. And write that down. I want you to write that down in front of your face. I and my baby daddy are immature because we are worried about, we react to, we decide based on our perspective is still ran by relationship shit when we're supposed to be worrying about the child. Write that to yourself. Because the thing is, when it comes to co-parenting, in order to fix this shit, you have to start being honest with yourself about what the fuck you doing. Y'all immature. He's an immature ass nigga. You's an immature ass bitch. And I'm saying this respectfully for you to confront what's wrong so you can fix it. It is immature to know that children need to be raised and to know the world is a tough motherfucking space. It is immature to know this. You know this and he knows this. You know the world ain't no motherfucking cakewalk. Y'all know this. You know that them children eventually got to get out in the world. And instead of worrying about that, y'all worrying about some shit from a relationship. And y'all wasn't even fucking in no serious shit where you married and had to divorce and got assets to split apart, right? You more worried about what he said to you or how you felt about that, or what you said to him, and he worried about what you did with this and who cheated and how you was talking to that other girl, rather than your child getting their ass tore up in this world. You's an immature ass bitch and he's an immature ass nigga. The world would tie your kid the fuck up. The world will mold your kid based on the trends and the fast that's going on. While you worried about what a nigga did in a relationship, or while he worried about what you did. It's people out here that's going to eat your kid up like a motherfucking dog out here in this world. While you pussyfooting around with your baby daddy by some motherfucking emotions. It's motherfuckers out here waiting to get somebody that ain't on point with their money, ain't on point with their boundaries, ain't on point with their safety. They tie their ass the fuck up. It's halves and it's half the fuck nots. And see, this is our problem in our community. We don't understand the assignment don't got shit to do with how many times your baby daddy cheated on you or what he lied about. The assignment is, what can we both get out of one another that we could pour into the child so that the child can utilize it to navigate this crazy ass world? Does this help to the person that asked that question? Do you? Because I'm being brutally honest.
Yes, it does.
We have to start getting real with ourselves. We call ourselves grown. We got 2, 3 kids, but every bit of the way that we think, our inability to just look at shit for what it is, view the real world for what is actually going on, is adolescent-like. When it comes to the matters of raising a young boy or a young girl, nobody gives a fuck about how many times that nigga cheated on you or popped you upside your head. We do not give a fuck. Grown folk worry about the well-being of the child. Because every bit of what you getting out of life is based on your choices. Every bit of what the child is getting out of life is based on your choices. You going through the consequences of your choices and your generational curses. The child is going through the consequences of your choices and your generational curses. The innocent one, the only victim in the situation is the child. It's not you and your buckethead ass baby daddy. It's not. It is the kid. So when we talk about matters of co-parenting, there is what's called the list. And I'm going to explain that next after I let Christine talk. Go ahead, baby.
Oh, I was going to make a statement. Also, as far as us as older women, we got to be honest with the younger women that reach out. There's a girl that reaches out to me, and she says that she feel like if he don't respect her, he don't love her child. And I said that what he feels about you have nothing to do with your child. Exactly. You're making it about you. Yep. He don't like your. He's making it clear that he don't like her ass. He do not like her. He said, communicate through this app. Stop trying to talk to me. Drop my son off and move the fuck on. She think it's so mean. I said, because you still love him. You still love him. Your feelings is invested. You feel some type of way. Yep. So you're finding any way to try to trigger him. Leave that man the fuck alone. But he leave you and your son the fuck alone.
Yep. 100%. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, right? To put into perspective, and I'm just going to lay it out very real. If I had a company and y'all worked for me at my company, and every time there was any real uncomfortable moments at work at this company, I threatened to fire y'all. After about the 10th or 11th time of me saying, bitch, I'm going to fire you, you ain't finna be working here, after a while, what is going to happen?
Oh, I'm quitting. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah. Or if you don't actually quit, you're going to develop an attitude of, I don't give a fuck. If you fire me, oh well. Right?
Yes.
If you watch even children with a toy, right? And a person keeps throwing in the other child's face, I'm going to take that from you if you don't do such and such. And you, over time, what happens to that little human being's attitude towards this thing you keep using as a pawn to control them? What do they eventually do? Perfect. If I let one of y'all borrow an extra car I got, and every time y'all do or say something I don't like, I keep talking about how I'm going to take this car away. Eventually, it's going to...
They can have that car and forget them in the car.
Okay. So you see how everybody in the group can understand this very common sense-wise, the way that the basic part of our brain works. But then when it come down to kids, bitches get so delusional, like you don't understand why the fuck that man don't fuck with you or those children. And it don't have shit to do with nobody hating the kids or not wanting to be a parent or being a bad person. Bitch, you done played pawn with them kids so much. A nigga said, fuck you. Just like you tell a bitch at work that keep coming around talking about how they gonna fire you. Bitch, do what you gonna do, ho. After a while, that's how it is. Male, female, child, anybody. It could be with a dress, a shoe, a shirt, a bird, a dog. Bitch, after a while, when our mind gets played with enough, it's fuck it. Motherfucker. And it don't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that it's responsible. It doesn't mean that I'm saying that this is the way everything should go. I'm telling y'all motherfucking ass that's the way it is. You play with anybody too much with a particular person, place, or thing, we're going to eventually detach psychologically from the shit for the sake of freeing ourselves. I don't give a fuck if it's a piece of bread. Keep acting like I ain't finna give you the bread. Now sit your ass down. After a while, who fuck you in that bread? Hey, nigga, fuck you and that little change you was finna give me. Women know a nigga keep, if you don't do this, I ain't gonna give you the money. I ain't gonna fuck you. I go get the money from somewhere else. No human is gonna sit up and let you keep fucking with their psyche. After a while, they're gonna disattach mentally, and then physically they will disattach. And this is why people live right around the corner from where their kids live at. They don't even fuck with them people. And you could play crazy like you don't understand how logical this is, but based on how humans operate, this is what the fuck is going to go on. When a bitch realize some shit is out of their reach based on you playing these fucking games, all you're gonna do is end up with that thing by yourself. The same way some managers at some jobs gonna watch a bitch walk the fuck out, or watch a bitch come in their office and say, do what you gotta do then, bitch, fire me. The fuck? Y'all not finna keep stressing me the fuck out every week talking about what you gonna do?
Period. I feel like I did that like with my son father, like eventually like I was pressing the issue like, the time, like trying to push forefront you doing the money, but let's put some time in it so you could get to know him, build some fiery memories, pressure with him. And then eventually I just was like, fuck that shit. Like, I'm not even about to keep doing it, so I don't even call you. I don't even talk to you. I don't even bother you. I ain't even give a two fucks if you come on that. Like, and then I think my son, like,
but
after that,
Italy, you see how, and I want y'all to really understand this. You see how when she just described this, it's cool when she do it. It's cool for her to say, fuck that. But as soon as a nigga do it, the world is like, oh my God, he don't care about his kids. Oh my God. But as a mother, when she eventually got tired of the carrot being dangled in front of her and shit not working out, for her to say, fuck it, I ain't worried about no daddy. Me and my child gonna just go do this. Every bitch in the world can understand. Every bitch in the universe. Every bitch in the universe, I get it. I understand why she ain't worried about that, because he was. But as soon as the table is turned, motherfuckers act delusional, look like a motherfucker, like you can't understand this. It's not hard. So
if they get treated the same way, I got treated the same way females treat dudes. So I know what it's like to have a female constantly threaten to take your kids. Mm-hmm. Well, he's not a female, but that shit is irritating. You constantly, every time I don't do shit you say do, or parent the way you say fucking parent, you threaten to keep my kids, or I can't never see my kids. And after eventually, I was like, nigga, shit, you raise them then. I'm not gonna keep arguing with you about my fucking kids because I'm not doing what you say do. So I know how men feel when women are constantly threatening them.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this, it's a beautiful space from me to y'all, from somebody that co-parenting comes easy, right? And this is even when the person and you are wildly different with y'all perspectives, wildly different with how y'all live y'all lives, wildly different with y'all beliefs, right? It comes easy when you are not trying to control the other person. So from a co-parenting space, I don't give a fuck what kind of father my children's dad wants to be. As long as my children are safe and as long as they get an experience with that other side, I don't give a fuck. And I don't want the other person to give a fuck about what kind of mother I'm choosing to be, as long as these children are safe when they're under my care. If they can get returned to you, and they're unharmed and they can get returned to me when they're unharmed, bro, we good. The problem is people are parenting in their ego. You want to control and manipulate and influence how the other person is themselves with their child. And that is not logical. It's not real. It does not work. Hence the reason why there are so many bitter bitches and angry niggas in regards to co-parenting. It is freeing as a woman to understand whatever experience my children get with their father is whatever he wants to give them. And it is not on me to be a part of that. A beautiful thing about being an individual such as myself, that I was raised with both my mother and my father. My father was able to father me and my siblings however the fuck that he wanted. My mother was able to parent and mother us however the fuck she wanted. When it got to a point where it was understood that as individual grown adults, we are in charge of only ourselves. When this was understood, it became a beautiful child experience. I got the best out of my father when there's no bitch to tell him how to operate with me. I learned my best lessons from him in his element as a man without some grandma or some mama telling him how to move and operate with me. I got the real from my mother by her being able to be a mom without a nigga or a granddaddy telling her what type of mother or woman to be. A lot of y'all don't got this much maturity in you in this moment, and you need to aim for that. You don't get to tell a nigga what kind of father he gets to be, even if he's not doing what you feel like is a good job. Guess what? You're not the boss of nobody but your motherfucking self and your children when they under your care. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. You are only in charge of you. He is only in charge of he. So if he want to be a weekend dad or a once a month dad or a 2 times a year dad, that is his choice. It's not your motherfucking business. If you want to be a once a month mom or all day mom or 2 times a year mom, that is your business. It's not his business. Is everybody clear on that concept?
Mm-hmm. I'm clear on it, right? But then my problem is this. I'm clear on that. But when it comes to the safety part, like, because you just said something about safety, right?
Yep.
So
and let me tell you something, Italy. Before you say what you're going to say, please know who you're talking to. And if you make up, and I'm not saying like make up like lie, but if you say some sort of fake ass, right, bullshit, where you trying to make us believe the child's safety is in danger when you laid up with the nigga in them same situations and never felt like it was no real danger when he was dicking you down, I'm going to call you out on it. So continue with what you're going to say. But just know, I don't go for that.
Nah, so the safety, because my son 13, so he could speak for his own safety concern. Okay. So when it comes to the line drawn in between, my concerns is, all right, like you said, he could be he could be how many fucking days of out the year of a dad he want to be.
Yep, and you're not the boss of that.
I'm not. I don't care about that. You could see him tomorrow. I could see him next year. Who cares? Fine. I'm not the boss of that. But when you do see him, and then he comes back with these safety concerns that he voices to me, and then I voiced it to you, and then it's just
what safety? So listen.
That's my biggest.
Okay, listen. Right, a child not being safe is your child being delivered back to you where something has happened that has affected his safety physically, mentally, or emotionally, right?
Yes.
So obviously if your child is being physically abused, right?
And this is the thing, you can't really say it's abuse. I mean, you could, but you can't because it's, again, all right, I seen him 1 week. And then it's to the point where, and like you say, you can call me out.